Hey guys, the video is gonna start shortly, but before it does, I just want to say a couple of things here before we get going. So I've been trying to make this video for the last few years. Exactly, I've been trying to do this. I've been trying to make this video specifically since 2020. And it is worth mentioning that I have had to delay it and delay it and delay it. And I've even had to, like, for lack of a better word, dumb down my plan just because my original plan was far too ambitious for my current skill set and abilities. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have gotten a lot better since then. I've learned a lot more about recording, a lot more about editing, a lot more tricks. I've learned a lot more since then, but even now my original plan is still a little bit too ambitious for what I wanted to do back then, so I've had to significantly dumb down my plan. But yeah, I think I've worked everything out. Now. Dumbed down my plan to a point where I can actually do something like this that's like doable with my current skills and abilities. I mean, don't get it wrong. I have significant, like, it is significant improvement. Like, my skill set is a lot better. Like, I know a lot more about recording and editing than I did back then, but it's still like, my original plan is still a little bit too ambitious with what I know now. Like, there's still a couple of things I wanted to do back then which I can't do. I had to rely on other people to help me with the editing process a bit, and it's I've been trying to do this since 2020. Actually, no, 2022. But I've been trying to do this since 2022, which is obvious since obviously I made this little teaser back then a few years ago. The plan of, I want to do on this date, but obviously that never happened because of things, and I wasn't able to make it in time for the deadline. And I had to make this video announcing I had to, like, delay it 2 years. That is how much time has passed since the beginning of Unus Annus. Until further notice. And so basically, after all those delays and after all the changing of plans to match my skill set, this is that video. The video that I was wanting to do back in 2022, this is that video. It took a while, but hopefully now I can finally do it and get it out of the way. So basically, in this video, I'm going to be talking everything relating to Unus Annus. Basically, I'm going to be talking about what Unus Annus was, what it meant to me as a person, what it did for me, what things were like for me back then, as well as, like, a little alternate what if scenario with Unus Annus and stuff like that. Like a little alternate scenario, like, what if I was in a better situation when Unus Annus happened? What if I was living here when it happened? All these things, talking about, like, my this alternate plan, what I would do if it was done today or whatever, as well as maybe a little bit of a confession regarding the whole re-upload thing. Again, well, I'll talk about that when we get to there. Looking at some alternate stuff that I've made for this alternate plan, and basically anything in between. That's this video. So again, this is going to be my tribute for Unus Annus since it is coming up on the 5-year anniversary. As of right now, I'm recording this in advance, but by the time this video goes out, or should go out, it should be Unus Annus's 5-year anniversary. So, with all that said, let's cast our minds back to that time and just, reflect and remember what Unus Annus was one last time. So hopefully I can finally put this video, this whole thing to bed, and hopefully I can finally let Unus Annus go. But with all that said, let's jump into this video And as always, Memento Mori. Remember death. Unus Annus. Hey guys, Lucky Star Shi-Roku here, and welcome to my tribute for the anniversary of Unus Annus. So it's been 5 years now. It's been exactly, well, I mean, not now, but by the time this video goes up, it will have been exactly 5 years since Unus Annus was created, deleted. Yep, it's basically the 5-year anniversary of Unus Annus, and I have been wanting to make, as I mentioned in the cold open for this, I did mention that I have been wanting to do this since 2022, but obviously things didn't go quite to plan. I tried many times to get it to work. You know, the thing is, back then when I tried, you know, I've learned a lot since then. Like since then I've learned about, you know, I've learned more about recording. I've started editing videos myself. Back then I used to rely on editors for me, and I've since then learned to edit myself. But the thing is, my original plan was a bit too ambitious for my skill sets back then, and even now to a degree. Like, don't get wrong, I've come on leaps and bounds in terms of progress and learning how to edit and stuff. So I know a lot more than what I did back then. But even now, that original plan was still way too ambitious for even what I know now, because, you know, I'm not Mark, I'm not Ethan, I'm not Amy, I'm not Lixian or anyone who worked on Unus Annus. I have nowhere near as much experience as what they do. You know, again, Mark, Ethan, they've been doing YouTube for like years compared to me. You know, they've been doing YouTube professionally, might I add, for decades compared to me. I'm still, you know, I'm still a baby compared to them in terms of how long I've been doing it for. Like, I've been doing it only for a few years. I've been doing it for at least a decade. Yes, I have more experience now than I did back then, but my experience is nothing compared to what they know. You know, I couldn't really, you know, so that means realistically, I couldn't really do like what I was trying to do. I couldn't have really done that even if I wanted to, just because it's that ambitious. But yeah, because of that, I have had to significantly downgrade my plan, and, you know, try to change things to something that's a bit more manageable for my skill set. Granted, I have gotten a lot better and I have learned a lot more tricks, and I know how to edit now, but it's still very, very limited, and that original plan just would not have worked with what I know now. As much as I've come on, as much as I've learned, it still would have been too ambitious. Firstly, yes, I was wearing a official Unus Annus t-shirt in the cold open, but I've had to switch back to my my tank top, which is still, you know, it's still on brand for Unus Annus. You know, but I had to change back into that because it's still a little bit too warm right now to be wearing that. I'll probably have something on screen right now showing all my official Unus Annus merch I did get during the time of Unus Annus. I've also got something over here which I made in my voluntary job back when I was still there. So yeah, I've got a bunch of like Unus Annus shirts, and I made this in craft, which I'm quite proud of. So needless to say, you know, I've got the merch. I'm doing this tribute video, which I've been wanting to do since 2020. Obviously, since I had that teaser, which I had that teaser, which I couldn't. So yeah, I had that teaser. You know, of when the original, when my original tribute video a few years ago was meant to go out, which obviously never happened. Then I did a delay video saying that things are going out of control and I need to delay the tribute video until further notice, which obviously leads to now. So basically, this is that video that I was originally trying to do, but I have had to significantly dumb it down for lack of a better word, just so it's more doable with someone with my skill set. Because again, I do know a lot more than what I did back then, but it's still not enough. So Unus Annus to me, obviously, with all this merch that I have, again, the whole message of Memento Mori, my skull rings, all that, which is all a reference to Unus Annus. Unus Annus meant a lot to me. I know Unus Annus meant a lot to a lot of people, which is the whole point, why it was so sad when it was deleted and stuff like that. But the thing is, I don't feel like I've been able to properly let go. That's partly why I'm doing this video, to hopefully be able to let go. Just so I can finally say my piece on it and how I feel about it and just get all that out there. But I've not been able to properly let go just because of the era that it happened. I mean, and I'm not just talking about COVID, Like, yes, the pandemic happened during Unus Annus, but I'm not talking about that. When Unus Annus happened, I was in a very, very, very different place, both mentally and literally. I didn't live here. Where it's a lot nicer here. I can, do what I want when I want here. Whereas where I was living before felt a lot more restrictive, a lot more toxic. Honestly, that was my home, and I felt more like an SCP in containment rather than being someone at home. It felt very toxic, very restrictive. I felt like my own time wasn't my own, and I feel like at any moment someone could just pop up out of that door and, bother me saying, "Oh, do this, do that, can you come down here? Yeah, there," just all of this stuff, just constantly pestering me, which, frankly, it's just asking me to do stuff which, honestly, it's frankly not worth my time. And I'm not trying to say that like in an entitled way or anything like that, but it's just, I didn't feel like that life was my own. I felt like I was having to ask permission to do anything. I felt like I was constantly being pestered, constantly being asked to do stuff. All of these responsibilities forced down my throat. Responsibilities that now I just do whenever I please. Like, back then, I was forced to do the house shopping, forced to do all these tasks, which now I do whenever I like, in my own time. And that's the thing. My own time. So yeah, because of that and other factors, just where I was in general, I didn't really feel like I got to really enjoy Unus Annus like Mark and Ethan would have wanted us to. I didn't get that chance, I didn't get that time, I didn't even get the proper time to mourn, because when I was mourning, it's one of the staff immediately said, get over it. It's like, so yeah, because of that, I wasn't even given the proper chance to grieve. So because of that, I feel like 1 year just wasn't enough. If I'd been here at the time, I think, if I'd been living here at the time when Unus Annus happened, I feel like I would have been able to let go a lot easier. Like 1 year would have been enough. But the thing is, I was relying so heavily on Unus Annus. I was using it as respite from that hell I was living with every day whilst in that house. So, I feel like if things were different, if things are very different, like if I was living here, I feel like if I was already here, I would have been able to let go a lot easier. But because I was there, 1 year just didn't feel long enough, and because of that, okay, now confession time. Mark, Ethan, I know the chances of you actually watching this are very, very slim, but if by some chance you are watching, just hear me out, please. I have my reasons. So I know about the whole thing of not, of like just letting Unus Annus die, not re-uploading, not re-uploading, not archiving, all that kind of stuff. I know all that. I understand the whole message and all that, and I get that, but just hear me out. I needed more time because of the situation I was in. 1 year just wasn't enough. Again, if things were different, if I was here, 1 year would have been enough. But because of that, I needed more time. So in the rush, in the last few weeks before the channel was deleted, I rushed to try and download everything into my personal hard drive. So I have got all the videos, just because I need a bit more time, a bit more time to appreciate Unus Annus and stuff like that. Just because I was using it as respite and I needed it. Just to keep going on, because again, it was a very, very toxic environment, so I needed that extra time. So I did keep the videos. I do have them on my hard drive even now, which I will probably let go eventually once I feel I'm ready to let go, but I just need a bit more time. So yeah, I just wanted to say that right now. Yes, I did keep the videos. Yes, I do still have them. I do still watch them from time to time. But that's only because of the situation I was in. If I was in a better situation, a better headspace, then I would have been able to let Unus Annus go like everyone else. But because of the situation I was in, because of the toxic situation, and because I was relying so heavily on Unus Annus for a little bit of peace and respite, I needed just a little more time. So I just want to preface that right now. I'm not dishonoring the message. I'm not re-uploading. This video is not a re-upload. It's just me talking about Unus Annus and stuff like that. I'm not re-uploading. I've not re-uploaded anything. I have archived them, yes, but only to my personal drive. And once I'm ready to let go, I probably will delete them myself once I'm ready. So I just want to say that right now. So again, just hear me out. I do have my reasons, but. Yeah, so with all that out of the way, in this video I'm just gonna talk about, I'm gonna talk a little bit about, imagine this as like a what if scenario. So like, imagine if I was in a better situation, like either if I was already here when Unus Annus happened, if I was here, or if Unus Annus was done today with the skills I know and stuff like that. So imagine that. So either if I was in a better place during Unus Annus, or if Unus Annus was done today, that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be showing my plan, what I would have done if I was in that situation, if it was done today, if I was here when it happened. So basically, that's going to be it. It's going to be me talk about my whole plan of what I would have done if Unus Annus was made today, what I would have done during that time, as well as going into little details about it, like, just explaining my plan, talking about it, maybe showing off a little bit of concept art of what that alternate scenario would have looked like alternate thumbnails, my overall plan, intro, outro, the channel art, just all stuff like that. Just basically a reimagining of what Unus Annus could have been, on my channel, whilst going through that journey myself, if I was in a better headspace and situation. So yeah, we're going to be looking through some art, the thumbnails, showing all of the stuff that I've been doing, and just all other stuff in between. Yeah, this should be entertaining. It's going to be fun talking about it, just because, again, I've been working the last few days just making the assets, which is why this video took so long, because assets like these take a while to make. So I've just spent the last few days making all them, and now I'm gonna walk you through them, talk to you a bit about them. So it's yeah, it's gonna be fun. So again, pretend this. So again, pretend it's 2020, or pretend it's 2019. Cast your minds back. Pretend this is the era of Unus Annus, and just imagine this is that time. And yeah, let me tell you a little bit about my plan for Unus Annus if it was made today. I have an important announcement to make. this will only end in death. For the next 365 days, my channel's usual activities will be put on hold. Instead, I'll be focusing purely on reactions to the channel in the description. But in exactly 1 year, this fabled channel, as well as all of my videos covering it, will be deleted. It'll be like it never even happened. And all you will have are the memories you make along the way. So, will you join me? The choice is yours. But in the end, you won't have one. In the end, death is inevitable. The clock has already begun. Memento Mori. See you on the other side. Unus Annus. Okay, so as you will have seen, I have completely recreated the original "This Will All End in 1 Year" video, but basically completely mimicking the original videos that Mark and Ethan did on their channels to announce and publicize Unus Annus. Obviously, I do still have all them videos just for reference, because again, like I said, I didn't have the time I wanted, the time I needed, so I do still have all of them for reference, which I used to try and replicate as best as I could. So yeah, as you can see, I've basically, I was able to find a GIF of the spiral they used. As you can see, I fabricated everything to make it feel like, so obviously this will all end in 1 year. My channel icon, which you'll see a little bit later on. I made the channel icon to again, I'll talk about the channel art in a minute, a bit later on, but I've got that, which would have been the thumbnail. This will all end in 1 year, Memento Mori. I've fabricated the date, so like the 14th, the 14th of November 2019. I think that's originally when that video went out, and that's what I would have done as well, probably. 6 views. Obviously, my videos don't typically get many views anyway, and so I didn't think the views really matters, especially since if that was going on the first day, it wouldn't get that many views that early on anyways. Just I didn't think the views mattered too much, but basically I just tried to make the overall look as feel as Unus Annus as possible, trying to proper replicate the overall ambience and feel as much as I possibly could. So obviously I got the spiral. I use an AI generated art version of myself. As you know, on my channel I use AI art a lot for my avatar in general. The reason I did this in this particular instance, I usually use AI art just because my art skills are non-existent because of my cerebral palsy, and I don't have the capability of learning to be an artist, so I use AI art just as a stand-in for that. But the reason I use AI art in this particular instance, because I do have a green screen in front of me right there. I do have a green screen, but unfortunately my green screen setup just isn't very good at all. It's not very good, and plus, as I mentioned at the start of this, it's still a little too warm to be wearing a black suit. Yes, we're in September, but I think we've still got a little bit of summer's heat left over, which we're getting the end of, so it's still a little bit too warm to be wearing all black for prolonged periods of time. So I just wanted to be comfortable so I could focus on reading my script and my line and not worry about how uncomfortable I was. So I basically had my avatar wearing the black suit, which honestly, using AI art anyway, that's pretty on brand for me anyway. So it's not that big of a difference. So it's pretty on brand for both Unus Annus and me, pretty much. So, which again, this whole thing, what I would have done is obviously Unus Annus, but in my own style as well, so it's still recognizable as my content. You know, so it's, you know. But anyway, let's have a little look, and I'll talk you through it a little bit. So again, like I said, I replicate everything. I just took this from one of my videos and just edited over it to make it feel like a proper Unus Annus video made by me and stuff like that. Just, you know, this is just basically my little announcement video I would have had on my channel, which would be deleted along with all the other videos. Once Unus Annus was over, right? So again, this is the thumbnail, the title, all that kind of thing. That goes on for a bit in black screen.
I have an important announcement to make. This will only end in death. For the next 365 days.
Oh, okay, so realistically, I probably wouldn't be able to do the full 365 days, just because that's a lot of videos to react to, and also, you know, I did have other commitments back then, and I still have some commitments now, not as many as I used to, but I do still have some commitments, and I do have my own life outside of all this. So realistically, I probably wouldn't be able to do every single video, but I would have tried to do the best I could, like as many as I could. But yeah, I'll talk about more about that in a minute. But realistically, I probably wouldn't do all of them, but I'll do as many as I could. You know, record whenever I was able to.
My channel's usual activities will be put on hold.
So that was the whole idea, basically. During this, so the plan here was during the time of Unus Annus, basically my channel, its usual activities like the Let's Plays, the other videos, well, maybe a few other videos here and there, but for the most part, the Let's Plays would be put on hold so I could focus purely on reactions to Unus Annus, which again I would have had the description in the below as well, and I would have changed the channel art, which again you'll see in a minute before long. But basically, all my main channel activities, my usual activities like the Let's Plays, would be put on hold for the entire year, focusing, like the next year, focusing purely on Unus Annus reaction videos, and then on the channel's anniversary, I would delete all of the videos. So basically, it's like that entire year never even happened, except if you were along for the journey with me. So that means all those videos plus this one would be deleted, and I'd go back to the Let's Plays as usual, pretty much. So yeah, well, obviously apart from the post-mortem, I was still a post-mortem video, but apart from that, that would be the only Unus Annus related video that I would do.
Instead, I'll be focusing purely on reactions to the channel in the description.
Yeah.
But in exactly 1 year, this fabled channel, as well as all of my videos covering it, will be deleted.
And I just want to preface that as well, like, I'm not deleting my whole channel, just those videos. And again, I've thought of everything to help me, obviously, when it comes to deleting everything. I have, like, made, like, special, like, thumbnails so I know what videos to delete and what not to delete. Again, I'll talk about that in a bit.
It'll be like it never even happened. And all you will have are the memories you make along the way. So, will you join me? The choice is yours. But in the end, you won't have one. In the end, death is inevitable. The clock.
I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy that I was able to, like, perfectly replicate that as best I could. Again, I'm not as skilled as Mark and Ethan, so there was a few, there's a few things I couldn't have done. There's a few assets I couldn't have got a hold of. But I'm so glad I was able to get hold of the clock and the spiral, you know. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And just the clock starting right as I say the clock has started.
Already begun. Memento Mori. See you on the other side. Unus Annus.
I'm so happy with how that turned out. I've done so well with that, and then it just cuts to black. Just because, obviously, realistically, I couldn't have done the clock because I wouldn't have known. Well, again, their videos didn't have the clock anyway, so that's fine. It was just a black screen at that point. So, yeah, I left it on the black screen for a bit. So it pretty much happened the same way. There's just one little asset I wasn't able to get my hands on. Basically, when the screen cuts to black, there was a little effect like a kind of sound effect, which I couldn't find anywhere. I couldn't get my hands on. So unfortunately, I couldn't get that. But other than that, it's pretty much a damn near close 1-to-1 replica. Obviously, you know, with my own little touches here and there with the anime AI art that's pretty on brand for me. So it's a mix of both Unus Annus, but in my own style as well. So it doesn't feel like a direct copy. So it's still adding a bit of my content in there as well. So, which obviously, you know, these types of videos always, you know, don't direct copy, especially with Unus Annus, because obviously you want to add at least a little bit of your own touch in there as well, just so it doesn't feel like a direct copy, pretty much. But I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I did really well with that. But yeah, the overall plan is just basically for the next year, basically just obviously put my Let's Plays on hold for the next year. You know, maybe a couple videos, like maybe I'd still do the special videos like my birthday and stuff like that. But for the most part, the Let's Plays would be on hold. The vlogs would be on hold for the most part. Basic idea is like the whole year of just Unus Annus focused videos, and then at the end of the year, obviously I wouldn't record the stream, obviously, because, you know, next day, and I wouldn't be able to do that. Maybe clips from the stream perhaps, but other than that, not really. After that, it would just be the post-mortem video, plus obviously, plus also maybe the process of me deleting the videos as well. Like, that'd be kind of cool. Like, if in that post-mortem video, I just do a video of like me going through my channel and just ticking all the Unus Annus videos and in preparation, and then just hitting delete so you could see me deleting on screen. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I would have been deleting everything. Just the Unus Annus videos, like my main videos would stay up. So it's literally because just after that year, all the videos would be gone, and then, you know, it'd be like it never happened pretty much. But yeah, I'm super happy with how it turned out. Really chuffed.